Hello, welcome back to another episode of Cloud Structure. Today we are going to learn about the new topic that is called virtual storage. That is, we are going to see about the virtual hard disk. So see, when we configure the cloud, it is very important regarding the storage because we do the redundancy of the storage where there will be a multiple number of disks will be there and we need to do the storage. So my name is Amarnath Mishra and I warmly welcome all of you for the channel that is Blue Christ College Serial on BCC Broadcast. So today we are going to learn that how the storage works. So we are going to see that how to configure a virtual hard disk in a Microsoft platform. So there are various kinds of hard disks are there, that is physical hard disk, virtual storage and physical storage with basic disk and dynamic disk. So today we will see that how this storage can work and how we can make a multiple virtual storage. So today we will see that to configure the virtual hard disk in a Microsoft platform. For configuration of virtual disk, we'll first connect to the server. So we'll go to the network connections. So ncpa.cpl. We'll go to change the IP over here. So we'll connect to the same network so that we'll be able to communicate with the server. We'll change the IP to the same network as per the server is there. So IP is 10.0.0.70 and subnet mask is 255. We'll communicate with the system now. So we'll ping our cloud system 10.0.0.1. It is having the connections. You can see that the reply is coming. We'll communicate with the another node of the server that is .2 and it is also communicating. So now we'll take control, that is we'll connect to the remote system. We'll take a remote desktop of the cloud server. So you can see that it is asking for the credential. We'll put the credential. And we'll connect. So you can see that it is having a connections. So it is connected. So now this is my cloud system. We'll come to the virtual system. So we'll start one virtual system and over there we will configure a virtual disk. So we'll start our cloud system. We'll connect to the system and we'll start our cloud system. So we'll configure the virtual disk. So you will be able to see that the virtual disk having a features where in a cloud structure mostly we use the virtual environment which is basically used for the dynamic configurations. Okay. So virtual disk will be able to communicate with the system multiple number of nodes and we will be able to provide the solution of the storage which will lead to the cluster, that is the failover cluster can be configured with the help of multiple number of disks will be required as per the storage pool. So we'll configure now. So you can see that system is getting ready. After this we'll log into the system and we will configure the virtual disk. So we will log into the system. So you can see that Bluecrest/administrator will log into the cloud system. So system has logged in. So it is getting ready with the server manager. The dashboard will be pop up. So you can see that dashboard is getting ready now. So this is our dashboard. So we'll check with the now storage. So if you go to the storage, you can see that there is only one drive here. It is C drive. It is showing here. We will configure here virtual disk. So for configuration of virtual disk, we will go to the system disk management. So we'll go to the tools. We'll go to the computer management. When we come to the computer management, we can see that the disk manager is there. So in disk management we have only one disk, that is disk 0 is there. So now we are going to configure the virtual disk. So here you will see that more disk will be available. So we'll go to the configuration. So we'll close this one. We'll go to command prompt. We'll type here disk mgmt.msc. When we come to the disk management, this is our disk management. So you can see that one disk is only visible, and yet it has got a primary partitions, that is the C drive. This is the primary partition, it is visible over here. You can see that primary partition. Now we are going to configure the virtual disk over here. We'll go to the action. So this is, you can see that the tab, action tab. We'll move to the action tab. Over here we'll go to create VHD. When we come to create VHD, we can create two type of VHD, that is VHD and VHDX. The difference between VHD and VHDX is that we can configure the VHD with 2 gigabyte, that is 2040 GB size. But if we want to configure that VHDX, it will support up to 64 terabyte. So this is the advanced features of VHD. So we'll configure the VHD only. We'll go to the browse. When we browse here, we'll have to provide the name of the disk. So we'll say that virtual disk. So disk 20, and we will save here. So this is the virtual disk where it is been saved. We'll put in the, so we'll browse, we'll go to the location where we want to configure the disk. So here we will put the virtual disk. So we'll type the name of the virtual disk, that is disk. That will be the disk 20. We'll save it, and you can see that it is disk20.vhd is there. So we'll provide the size of the disk, that is 2 GB, that is 2 gigabyte of disk, and it will be the VHD. So we can also configure the VHDX over here instead of VHD. So it will support larger size of the VHD. Now when we come to the hard disk type over here, we can put a size of the fixed size, or we can put the dynamic expansion. So if we put fixed size, it will allocate the space from the disk space, that is 2 GB, 2 gigabyte at once when we starting the disk allocation. But in dynamic disk, it will go on increasing as per the dynamic expansion. So most of the network, most of the cloud structure, it is always been provided by the dynamic expansion. So we'll put as a dynamic expansion, because dynamically it will expand that size and it will go up to 2 gigabyte. So we'll provide this 2 gigabyte, and you can see that one disk has already pop up over here. So disk has been attached over here. So you can see this is disk 0, that is physical disk, and disk 1, it is with different color. You can see that it is my basically the virtual disk. So this virtual disk has been created, but it has not been attached to the system. So we have not yet initialized the disk because it is already down. You can see that the disk is not online. So if you want to check your disk over here, we can go to the system and we can see the disk. So we'll go to the system drive, that is C drive, and in the system you can see that the VHD has created. So you can see that disk 20 has already created over here. So disk 20 has created over here. You can see that. Now if I want to configure this disk as a online, we'll right click from the disk and we'll initialize the disk. The moment we initialize the disk, it will go to the MBR or GPT. So master boot record will be, by default it is select as master boot record. So we'll select with the master boot record over here, and you can see that the disk has become online, because earlier it was not online. So it has configured as an online disk. Now we can create the partition over here. If you see here, these are all unallocated space. So we'll create one partition over here. So right click, we'll go to simple volume. When we come to the simple volume, it is the welcome wizard has been appeared over here. So you can see that welcome to the new volume wizard. We'll go to the next. We can create the partition. We'll say that 500 MB partition size. So next, it is the drive letter. It is prompted with the E drive. We'll go to the next. It is the NTFS file system, which is new technology file system. We can also provide FAT file system. but NTFS will provide the security like compression, encryption. So we'll provide NTFS file system. We'll go to the next and it will be created, the everything is fine. So we can see the description of the volume information and everything is good to go. Now we'll finish it. So you can see that it has created one partition, that is 500 MB, and drive letter is assigned with the E drive, and the size you can see that 500 MB of NTFS primary partition. Drive is healthy over here and it is configured as a primary partition and it will be reflect in my system. So you can see that it has been pop up with the disk configuration. So you can see it is asking for the formatting of disk. So we'll cancel this because we have already configured as a disk over here and we have formatted the disk. This is the, it will pop up in my system drive. So you can see that E drive has been pop up over here. So this is my system drive, that is C drive, and this is the partition drive of E drive, and here we can store all sort of data and it can be configured for the storage solution. So I hope you have understand that how to configure a VHD in a Microsoft platform, that is for the virtual hard disk, and how it is work in the cloud structure. So if you want to learn more about cloud computing, virtualization, servers, so please visit to our college, Blue Crest College, 77 Wilkinson Road, Freetown. Thank you.